Additions and changes. Added new Dark Sea Island biome types including Overhang, Mushroom Forest, Ruins, Metal Forest, Poison Forest, Coral Field, and Crystal Field. Added 33 new structures that can spawn on Dark Sea Islands. Added an active server list to the title screen, with each server now having a randomly generated name and color associated with it. The servers list displays the servers' names, regions, place, and current player count. Added a new Sunken Warrior armor set, as well as a new Sunken Staff. Deckhands have been overhauled, now spawning at level 20 to 30 at Rookie tier. You can level them up by sinking ships. They no longer require Renown to be upgraded and instead cost Galleons and multiple of a rare tier gem. You can specialize Adept plus Deckhands by choosing a profession for them. The professions are as follows: Navigator, Shipbuilder, Chef, Cannoneer, Merchant, and Enchanter. You can only have one type of profession per deckhand. Professions give the deckhands an ability which is either passive or an ability that you can activate while sailing your ship. You'll be prompted when they are ready to upgrade their profession, which requires a certain amount of 2 different items. The amount required is dependent on their profession tier, and the item required is dependent on their profession. You can gift items to your deckhands to increase their loyalty to you. They will only accept items that are similar to their style. The deckhand loyalty tiers are as follows: low, medium, great, devoted, and dedicated. When a deckhand's loyalty is great or higher, you can now change their appearance style. When a deckhand's loyalty is at dedicated tier, you can give them a single item that they will wear permanently, and you can give them a different item to wear to get whatever current wearable they have on back. Artifact items can now be obtained from any underwater treasure chest with a 1 in 10 chance to get one. You can give your deckhand an artifact to hold, which increases a specific aspect of your ship. The current artifacts are as follows: a Worn Compass giving a plus 10% chance to escape whirlpools. A Frayed Lead Line giving a plus 7.5% damage resistance to weather. A Rusty Fish Hook giving plus 5% increased crew fishing speed. A Small Gunpowder Barrel giving a 10% chance for ammunition to not be consumed when firing cannons or mortars. A Lucky Coin giving a plus 7.5% chance for an extra sealed chest to spawn when sinking an enemy ship. And a Golden Bolt giving plus 10% damage resistance to bumping or crashing. You can give an artifact to your deckhand by talking to them if their loyalty is high enough. Added new appearance sets for NPCs including Occult, Engineer, Casual, Barbarian, Mafioso, and Cowboy. Added 7 new item modifiers: Frozen, Archaic, Sandy, Superheated, Drowned, Blasted, and Crystalline. All of these can be found from treasure chart chests, besides from Drowned, which can be found on items obtained from any underwater chest. There is a 50% chance for an item from a treasure chart chest to have one of these modifiers. Enemy and boss drop chances are no longer reduced based on the percentage of damage you've dealt to them. Your crew will now begin fishing while your ship isn't moving. Your crew can catch 1 fish every 10 to 20 minutes. When you start sailing again, your crew will stop fishing. This doesn't reset their fish catch timer though, it only pauses it. You can now fish while on moving ships. Dirt now accumulates on your character over time from opening chests and taking damage. It can be washed off by either swimming, getting hit by water magic, or bathing in the brig. On warm islands, your character now gradually tans when exposed to the sun, taking around 30 minutes worth of daytime on a warm island to reach max tan. Sunken armor and weapons can now be obtained from any underwater chest rarely instead of just from fishing. Added an ambient volume and render distance slider to the settings. Reduced the max amount of XP you can get per cargo opened by 50%. Balancing changes. Increased the width and length of the cone check for movement based grabs, and made its size be the same regardless of the range of the skill. The frozen and petrified status effect durations have been decreased from 1 second to 0.8 seconds. The imbued stun status effect duration multiplier has been decreased from 0.7 to 0.5. The agility stats effectiveness on high jumps has been decreased from 1 to 0.75. The agility stats effectiveness on dodges and dodge reflexes has been decreased from 0.8 to 0.6. The blast spell cooldown has been increased from 0.5 seconds to 0.75 seconds. The scaling of attack speed on the beam spell's max range has been decreased from 50% to 25%. Pulsar now has a delay before it begins pulsing based on the pulse rate setting. The Surge spell no longer applies potion gel effects. The range of the Surge spell has been reduced by 20%. The damage resistance given while using Surge is now 20% for every magic. Grape Shot and Heavy Grape Shot damage with Cannon Fist has been reduced by 10%. Crash Technique's impact hitbox is now half of the AoE size rather than a direct hit being required to initiate the attack. Shot Technique's damage scaling has been increased by 23% and its power stat affinity has been decreased by 3%. Seleno Technique's N-lag has been increased by 20%, its knockback has been decreased by 20%, and its hitbox is no longer as far forwards relative to its AoE. Increased the stat given by every exotic weapon enchant. Whirlwind now does 20% more damage, has a 0.15 second increased startup time, and has reduced clashing power. Ethereal Flash now does 25% more damage. Sparrow Thrust skill startup time has been increased by 0.15 seconds. Reduced the Rain of Arrows skill end lag. The Brutal Rush projectile speed has been increased by 25%. Reduced the damage of ship cannons to players. Previously a 50% damage reduction is now a 90% damage reduction. Reduced the effectiveness of attack size by 20%. All player renown has been reset, meaning if you had over 50k bounty or fame, you are now set back down to 50k. Ships no longer get their speed or turning speed reduced until lower than 60% of their max durability. Rare spells and techniques now share 50% of their cooldown when used on their second fighting style or magic. The Warrior and Night Awakening skill speed boost has been increased from 5% to 7.5%. Magma Magic's imbued damage affinity has been increased from 0.975 to 1.0. Poison Magic's imbued damage affinity has been increased from 0.825 to 0.85. Acid Magic's imbued damage affinity has been decreased from 0.95 to 0.925. Explosion Magic's imbued speed affinity has been decreased from 0.8 to 0.75. One drawback is now 1% of your health. Reduced the defense given by Painite Jaws by 14%. The area set's attack size has been increased by 34% and its intensity has been increased by 11%. The Siren set's attack speed and agility has been increased by 67%. The Dark Bronze armor set's attack speed has been increased by 34%. The Theurgist cloak now shares the same stats as the Theurgist hat. The Vatricos armor now gives 3 drawbacks. The Vatricos leggings, helmet, and cloak now give 2 drawbacks. The Bronze Chainmail shirt is now rare tier and its intensity has been increased by 175% and its agility has been increased by 250%. The Cape of Ravenna loyalty's intensity has been increased by 35%. Caped silver pauldrons now give attack speed and agility instead of attack speed and intensity. All pauldron type items that have an armor set now share the same stats as the helmet or boots given by that armor set. The Atlantean modifier and virtuous enchantment can no longer be on the same item. Existing items that had both have had their Atlantean modifier removed. Trying to apply an Atlantean essence to a virtuous item or vice versa will now give an error. Just like jewels, enchantments can now change the stat given by the Atlantean modifier. Next update. The next major update will be the start of the Nimbus C. This will continue the story and raise the max level cap. It will include the first 2 chapters of the Nimbus C story, multiple new islands, and the Kingdom Town alignment system. The Nimbus C update probably won't come before the end of the year.
Brand new.